Hello, everybody, and welcome to the C Plus podcast featuring Hex, Sho, and Shogun Shin. As always, I am your host, Shogun Shin, and I am joined by my co-host, Hex Ginkgo. This is a variety podcast in which Hex and I just kind of talk about stuff that's been going on, things that are interesting to us, things that have happened to us, and all that good stuff. So sit back, relax, and what we're going to talk about today. Okay, good talk. Fine, I'm already hit record. That's fine. I mean, okay.
Okay, that was weird.
What happened?
I've never disconnected it. It just said that it wasn't connected. That was strange. I mean, you could hear me. It was just not going through, frickin', what's it called?
Streamlabs?
Streamlabs, yeah, that was strange.
That happened to me a little, earlier in the week, actually. I just had to reset my mic preferences for some reason. I don't know why.
I did too. It was set to default, and I would assume that my default microphone would be the only microphone that's plugged in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay. Now we're all good.
Okay.
What was the question?
I asked what we were talking about today.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really done a whole lot. I've been, collecting more Halo stuff lately, and that's pretty much it. I'm trying to like get ready for Infinity or Infinite, whatever.
Yeah.
Halo Infinity and beyond. So I started reading.
You collect all the Infinity rings, and then you become the ultimate Halo god.
Chief. Yeah, I'm trying to read as many of the books as I can right now because I want to like actually read something, and I know it's not like good literature, but it's something that isn't a comic book, and I feel that will help my brain at least a little bit instead of just looking at pretty pictures all the time.
I mean, comics have pretty good stories in them.
They do.
Speaking of, arguably some comics have pretty like decent, it's like
amazing
story
stories.
Literature.
Yeah, I mean, graphic novels are like they are called that for a reason, is because they have deeper storylines than just a serial comic. But I actually backed my first Kickstarter ever today. Because it was written by Scott Snyder, and he's independently published. Well, he's not independently publishing it. He's creating his own label and then publishing it through Image. So I backed it so I could get like the hardcover and it would be signed. And I'm like, I'm really looking forward to it.
Have you really never backed a Kickstarter before?
Nope. I like. It's not that I like don't want to. It's just I've like.
I mean, that's fair. Kickstarters are always kind of like weird because like you want to support the thing, but at the same time, it's always just a gamble of is it gonna actually happen?
Yeah, I mean, and like games. I know that there has been a lot of history of games having problems through Kickstarter, so I never wanted to do that. And I don't know a lot of independent comic creators. It's not that I don't support anybody, because that's something that I would like to do, is like publish something of my own at some point. And so I just don't know about it. So I go through official stuff. Like I will buy a game directly from the publisher or on PlayStation, or I will buy a DC book or an Image book, and it's because it's actually available. You know, it's not like, hey, might I get this? But the biggest reason that I'm doing it through, through Kickstarter on this time is because it is Scott Snyder. It is Tony Daniel. These are, he's a very famous writer. Tony Daniel is a very famous artist. They're being published through Image. It's just like, hey, we want to give people the opportunity to be a part of this. And it's like, okay, this is official. It's going to get released. Like, there's no maybe about it. Like, it's already, like, finished. They're just... Yeah. So... Kickstarter kind of is interesting. I also used to watch a lot of like Kickstarter crap by iDubbbz, so that also kind of put a little bit of like a
you already had a preconceived notion.
Yeah, like proceed with caution sign in front of it for me.
Yeah.
So I also only like back one person on Patreon, and I want to back more. It's just about like I am currently in the just save all my money mode at the moment. So once I get into a better position, I do want to start supporting more like creators. Like I had to cancel some subs, which made me a little sad on Twitch. I still have yours going through Twitch Prime because I've pretty much always had that one.
Nice.
Like screw it.
Hells yeah.
So yeah, you're the only one that I'm still currently subscribed to.
Nice.
So yeah,
still got it.
Yes. I will be getting there at some point.
Speaking of Kickstarter, I actually probably like 2 weeks ago, I also backed something on Kickstarter, and it was a laser cutter.
Oh,
which I am super excited about.
Wait.
So this is a laser cutter that have you ever heard of the Glowforge?
Is it a 3D printer?
No, it's a laser cutter.
No, I have.
Right,
no.
so there's this commercial brand laser cutter called Glowforge, and that was what I was originally going to get, and it looked really nice. It looked like it did all the things that I wanted it to do, and I was like, and I could use like any sort of material for it. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I like this. But that was like I think $2,500 is like the base model.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm like, all right. I mean, it's a lot, but I'm like, okay. I mean, I have a little bit extra spending money, like, and this is something that I've really wanted for like several years since I graduated college.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking about it. And so I was talking to some of my other friends, and like, yeah, like one of my other friends was also thinking about getting a laser cutter. And he's like, yeah, like this is really cool. I really like this. I'm actually thinking about, I've been looking at this one for a while now, and he sent me the link to this Kickstarter page. And it's a laser cutter that, I guess the company is based in Taiwan. And the way that they advertise the cutter is that it has its own like software, so that way you can like kind of run stuff and you can like pre-position things, and then like the range of materials that you can use is like it's insane because you can use like wood, plastic, corkboard, leather, glass, metal, like all sorts of different materials to like etch and like cut and almost stuff like that. I'm like, that's fucking dope. And then also like the best part about it was like the like model that I wanted, like out of all the tiers, only ran me like $1,500.
That's pretty good.
So I was able to save like literally easily $1,000, and I'm like, sure,
yeah,
that's like I'm down for that. Like
short
that's
change.
Yeah, it's like that's legit as fuck. I'll take that. The only downside is that I am not getting it until December. So that's like the worst part because I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited, but I get it in December. I'm like, fuck.
My boss also, he really kind of scared me off of Kickstarter, because he backed a project. He backed a project in 2018. That was for I don't know how much you play D&D. And I'm pretty sure
to know about it.
But do you ever use miniatures in your anything?
No, but
okay.
A buddy of mine does.
Okay, so you know how expensive those can get and how intricate they can be. Like they're beautiful a lot of the time, but they're really expensive because they are so they tend to be so detail oriented, and these are like they're luxury items, even though it's like a hobby, you know.
Yeah.
So Dwarven Forge is a very, very, very famous.
Yeah. I know that.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think he backed them. I think it was he backed another company that their stuff can like go together with Dwarven Forge's stuff. They're just like a tier under. Like their quality is really good. It just doesn't have that Dwarven Forge name behind it. But he was supposed to get it in August of last year, and he's not going to get it potentially until September of this year because they kept being like, hey guys, we're gonna add more stuff to it, so it's gonna come out later, but it's gonna be way cooler. And hey guys, we had some issues with our printers, so we bought more printers, but we shipped them all to a different location, so our printing isn't gonna happen until later. And then obviously, the global pandemic happened, and so it's just like this step by step. Like,
it is.
Are you kidding? Like, there's something else wrong.
It's funny that you mentioned that because of on the Kickstarter page for my laser cutter, because the company's based in Taiwan, they're actually on their Kickstarter page. It says that the estimated delivery date should be December, and they have no intention of delaying orders due to COVID-19, because apparently Taiwan is doing really well against it.
Yay!
So they have no problems there, and I love the fact that on their Kickstarter page they specifically said, like, don't worry guys, we're good.
We're okay.
Like, we're okay, and I'm like, I like it. I like this.
That's hey, that's good.
Yeah. Speaking of delayed orders though on Kickstarter, a few years ago I actually backed another Kickstarter. And it was for this company called the Unbelievable Testing Lab, and they are a shoe company that makes those paper wallets, those like mighty paper wallets.
No, not off the top of my head, no.
You usually saw them at like Hot Topic or something like that. Like, they were made out of paper, but they were branded as like they're mighty paper. Like, you can't really tear them all that easily and stuff like that. But so this company, the UT Lab, they make shoes, but they make the shoes out of that paper. And it was a really cool novelty idea. Like, they were nice shoes. I liked them a lot. I actually still have a pair myself. But when I backed them on Kickstarter, they were advertising these really cool like high top sneakers, and the design for them was made out of the paper, but then it was like the the Fibonacci math spiral.
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, so it was that design printed on the shoes, and like all the proceeds went toward like a charity. I can't remember what charity specifically, but I was like, okay, yeah, sure, like all the proceeds go toward a charity. That's awesome. It's something that I really want. Like, these are really dope shoes. Like, sure, I'm about this. I'll back them.
Sure.
And then they came under a similar problem of like, it was just like update after update of just like, hey guys, like our materials like got shipped to the wrong place, or like they didn't have enough, so they had to order more materials. And then there's finally the update of like, okay, so like everything's produced, like we got all the merchandise, we're gonna send them out now. And in that notice, it was like, we're gonna send all the shoes out now. If you don't get yours by like X date, contact us. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, makes sense, no problem. I did not get my shoes, and so I messaged them. I'm like, hey, I didn't get my shoes. Just wondering, is there like a mix up with the shipping, or is there something that is there a tracking number or something like that? And they're like, so here's the thing, we lost your order.
Oh no.
We don't have it on file, and so we don't have your shoes. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. I'm like, okay, like, and they're again, like, they were actually really chill about it, thankfully.
Yeah.
But they're just like, like, we're sorry about this. So as compensation, what we'll do is, I think I paid like $60 for the shoes, I think.
Okay.
So what we'll do to compensate you is, you can go onto our website and you can buy any 2 pairs of shoes you want.
Oh, wow.
Literally any 2 pairs you want, that equal out to $30 or $60. So I bought 2 $30 pairs of shoes, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I'll take these.
2 pairs for what you paid? Like, that's not
exactly.
not
yeah.
bad.
So I was just like, all right, yeah, that's legit. And then so that's what happened to me instead of like, I just got, thankfully again, they were like really okay about it, of like, but I was so sad because it's just like, the first they told me they lost my order, and then I'm just like, all right, well, like, can you get it back? And like, so we don't actually know what your order was at all, and we can't contact the supplier anymore.
Oh my god.
So
yeah,
I'm just like,
dude, that's the kind of shit. I'm just like, no. I get so frustrated with, like, I've told you about the like horror stories of me trying to order shit off of Amazon
Yeah.
with my books and stuff. I'm just like, dude, you guys are killing me. Yeah. Oh, well, we're just gonna put these in, like, this, you spent $125 on this book, and we're gonna treat it like crap and package it so horribly. See stuff like that. That's just
so something that bothers me a little bit is that because I live back at my parents' house technically, even though I'm the only one that lives here now, my mom and my sister still mail when they order stuff. They still have it sent here to the house.
Okay.
And with Amazon, it's both convenient and very frustrating when we all order something at not at the same time, but in similar times. Because what Amazon will do is like they'll check the orders and then be like, oh, these 3 orders are going to the exact same place. Let's just put it all together. Like that's fine. Because of I actually cut my own hair yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the updated pictures.
It's okay. It's actually still a little too long, so I'm actually gonna cut it a little bit more tonight. I did fuck up a small bit in the back because I couldn't see, because I literally couldn't see it, but I felt it. I was like, I fucked up. And it was like, thankfully it doesn't look too bad, but I did fuck up there. But I'll get to that point later. When I was getting ready to cut my hair last week, I was just doing like all sorts of research. I asked like a bunch of people, you including, what I should be looking for to cut my own hair. And originally, I was literally just going to use regular scissors. Like 100%, I was just going to use regular scissors, or I was going to use the kitchen shears I had. Like, I was so prepared for it. And thankfully, I looked it up and I asked people, like, should I buy a dedicated pair of scissors to cut my hair? And like, yeah, you should absolutely should.
Well, did you end up getting a
Yeah, so I bought a kit.
Okay.
I bought like a little like hair stylist kit that came with scissors, thinning shears, hair clips, like a little hair, little brush to dust off hair, and a razor comb, which I didn't know how to use the razor comb, and I'm pretty sure that I used it wrong, but it served me well enough. Okay. It served the purpose that I was using it for well enough.
Hey, I guarantee you probably did it more professionally based than I do.
I don't think I did.
I use a beard trimmer. I did.
So did I.
Yeah, on your whole head?
No, but on the sides of my head.
Yeah, I used it on my whole head.
Oh, why would you do that?
Because I have short hair, so I don't really have to worry about it too much.
But then it would just all look like you shaved it all off.
I have different lengths, and I only shave the sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I showed you how long my hair is.
That's true. Do you not cut the top of your hair?
Not really.
Oh,
I did before, and it worked out okay the first time, and then I was just like, meh. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Like,
it's difficult. It's fucking hard.
Cutting the top and getting it even. So I'm just like, nah, I'm not gonna worry about it anymore.
The problem that I ran into is I shaved the sides of my head, but then because of how my hair lays, I have this weird lip that the clippers just simply can't reach because the angle's wrong.
Huh.
And so I have to basically round that edge out with scissors, but like I can't, like, again, because and once I get to the back of my head, I simply can't see. And so I'm just kind of like, I'm going in blind. Like, I'm going to hope that I'm cutting enough off that it looks fine, but I hope that I'm not cutting too much off. But anyways, but so I bought a hairstylist kit, and it was supposed to get here Thursday of last week. My mom bought a bunch of face shields for my sister because she's getting ready to go back to school for her teaching job. And they were gonna get here on Saturday. And so Amazon's like, hey, these 2 packages are going to the same place. Let's put them together. And then I didn't get my package until Sunday.
Oh, that's frustrating.
And then I was just like, cool, I guess I'm gonna cut my hair now. So I cut it literally last night. And boy howdy, one of the things that... So I knew, obviously, when you get your hair cut, there's a lot of hair. I obviously knew that. I did not expect... I didn't think I had... Like, I knew I had a lot of hair to cut off. When I got done, my entire floor and, like, my sink was just coated in black.
Why didn't you put a towel down?
I did, but then I couldn't keep the towel on me, so I'm just like, fuck it, I don't care, I'm gonna take a shower after this anyways, like, fuck it.
Okay. Oh my god.
And then it just kind of fell everywhere. Like,
alrighty.
I didn't really have control over where it was gonna go once it came off my head. It was just kind of all around me. I cleaned it all up, but I was just kind of like, boy, this sucks. Definitely, in my defense, or not in my defense, but in hindsight, I could have made it a lot easier on myself because it was the first time I was cutting my hair. Obviously, I didn't want to take off more than I would regret.
Yeah.
So I started.
I made that mistake my first time.
So when I started with the clippers, I started with the longest guard that I had.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, like 15 millimeters. I think is what I had. And I looked at it. I was like, we can go more. And then so I went like two more guards down. I went like 2 guards more down. And so like technically, it probably would have been easier if I had just done, like, if I had known that I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this guard specifically. That probably would have helped out, because it would definitely mean, like, technically less hair to clean, or at least less pieces of it. But yeah, overall, it doesn't look bad. It definitely doesn't look bad. It's definitely a lot shorter. Awkwardly though, I don't think so. Like, if you were to look at my hair, my bangs are actually really, really short, but the rest of the hair on my head, on top of my head, is actually really long still.
Oh.
So I actually don't think
it did look like that.
Yeah, I don't think I cut enough off, / I don't think I finished cutting through the rest of my head. Because I stopped, because I was just kind of like, I can't really tell where I'm cutting, or like how it's going to lay anymore once I style it. And then it wasn't until I styled it this morning that I was like, okay, I need to trim up more on the top of my head still, because it's actually really long in the back still. And I'm like, I need to cut that down. And then, like, if you look, you can't see because I have headphones on, but the back of my head, there's like this weird tuft of hair because I missed it because I couldn't see it when I was trying to round off the edge. So I'm like, all right, I gotta figure out how to reach that. But yeah, and then also if you look at the back of my head, I don't know if you could see it on camera, but
I definitely can't.
Yeah, you can.
I can't. I'm not looking at you.
Can't. Okay, but yeah, so maybe on camera I don't even see it. But right here I went too far with the clippers, and so I shaved like almost right down to my head.
Oh, nice.
And it was like literally, I felt it. I was just like, I fucked up.
Oh no, that feels really cold. What's that about?
I mean, like, thankfully I didn't go too short, and it actually covers up pretty well. But like, I looked at it when I finished it. I was just like, it's not bad, but you can definitely tell it's there.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely there for sure, but I'm like, it's fine, I think.
You're definitely going to want to remember every height of your thing that you've selected, because when you don't do that, bad things happen. You're like, oh hey, I'm like a 4, or you're like, I think it was a 1 because it was really short, and then you're like, oh no. Well, the problem is that, like, when I go get my haircut normally, like, to a professional, they usually ask me, like, so what do you want? And I usually tell them I want a guard 4 for clippers on the side of my head, and then take like an inch and a half off the top. And so I was just like, okay, like, I'll just do the exact same thing. But I actually don't know what a guard 4 is. Like, I know that it's guard 4, but I don't know if, like, how, because all my guards on my clippers all just tell me the millimeter length. Yeah.
So it's like 12 millimeter, 15 millimeter, 7 millimeter. And I don't know what that means. Like, is that the equivalent of a guard 4, or is it something different entirely? And so so when I was cutting my hair last night, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just start at 17 millimeter, and then we'll just work our way down to the length that I like. And we'll just hope for the best. It also, again, didn't help that I was using a beard trimmer, because I was just like, because, I mean, it was the only thing I had, and I'm just like, I might want to buy dedicated hair clippers, actually. And like, that way they'll come with the actual guards, and I'm like, maybe that way I can actually see, like, oh, this is what I actually need to use. But yeah, no, for the most part, I'm happy with how I cut my hair. I'm glad that I didn't fuck it up, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, like when I when I was like getting ready, I took a shower to like make sure everything was like all like laying the way it needed to. I literally was just stood in my bathroom and I'm like, I am so nervous right now. Like, I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about cutting my own hair. I was so terrified. Esper says she was hoping for a line right down the middle of my head. I honestly was like, I was so like when I was doing the clippers on the sides, I was so nervous about taking too much off or like going too far up that I was just like, because I've had that happen to me beforehand. I think I've told this story beforehand, but there was one time I went to go get a haircut and it was like a local place in my town. And I sat down. The girl was new, so like she had never cut my hair beforehand. I'd gone to this place several times beforehand, but it was a different woman that was cutting it that day. But so she's like, what do you normally do? And I go, I do clippers on the sides and just take like an inch or so off the top. And she's like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Because they didn't specify what guard, she just used like 1 or like 3, or I think it was like 2 guard, which is like really short.
Yeah, it's really short.
It's really, really short. It's like almost buzz cut level. But so she started at the side and she went all the way literally to the top of my head.
Oh, man.
I pulled away instinctively because I was just like, what's happening? And I looked in the mirror and I was just kind of like, oh, she went there. she can't stop now. Like we've gone past. Yeah, it's like we've gone past the point of no return. I have to let her shave off the rest of it now. And so it's like, so I just let her do her thing, and then I was just like,
I had a similar thing happen. So I had previously had the same barber since I was like 3 until I was probably 21, 22. And since then I have been my own barber until next week when my sister will do my hair for the first time that anybody will cut my hair in like 3 or 4 years. So that'll be fun.
So that was another thing too. So my sister and my mom are home right now. And they were angry at me because it was just, you should have just like, why didn't you let me cut the back of it? Like, why didn't you let me help you? I'm like, because you guys don't live here. Like, I live by myself for the most part. Like, I needed to learn how to cut my own hair by myself. I can't just ask somebody to do it for me.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where like I think that it is a good thing to know how to do, but you're never gonna get it right the first time ever.
Right, but I figured like in my head I was just like, I'd rather mess it up now.
Oh, exactly.
By myself, so that way at least I know how to do it. In the chance that if I ever have to do it by myself again, it's like, okay.
Yeah, you learn. I mean, yeah, I definitely screwed up my own share of times. Like I said, my first
ever thought about figuring it out with a straight razor?
Ooh.
Ugh.
No.
Speaking of though, that razor cut
my old barber used to
in that kit. I thought that was like I thought that was like a kitty straight razor at first, and I'm just like, this is weird. This is fucking weird.
So my old barber, I tried to get him to just do basically the haircut that I have now, like off shaved on the sides and then long on top. So it was like basically the every hipster guy you ever sees haircut, pretty much that. And right. I guess didn't describe it well enough, and I wanted him to, I wanted it longer on top, and his interpretation of longer was nothing.
Wait,
like at least
what?
It was, so the sides were exactly the length I wanted. Like they were really short, they were like really tight against my head, but the freaking hair on top of my head was barely any longer. It was really frustrating. I'm like, dude, it looks like a high and tight like military. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. And then I was literally going to a party that night, and I show up and my hair just looks like a goddamn mess, and everybody's like, What happened to your fucking head, dude?
That's really interesting that you say that, because when I was in college, I also went to a barbershop, and they did the exact same thing to me, actually.
Oof.
Like, the way that I have my hair cut now is basically how I've had it for, like, since my senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one year that I went to a barbershop in college, and they did the exact same thing to me. They did clippers on the side, like, really short, and then, like, on top of my head, it was, like, I would say, like, a quarter of an inch longer. Like, it was, like, barely noticeable, but it looked like I just joined the military.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately.
I mean, it wasn't a bad haircut. It just was not what I was looking for.
It's just, yeah. It's just, like, not the style that you're going for.
And especially,
but I'm, like, I'm wondering if, like, just all barbershops just do that.
They're like, what are you doing with your hair?
Oh, yeah. Yep, same. I got a lot, yeah. And so it's funny, though, that you mentioned that you were going to party, because this was when I was in an acapella group, and we had a performance literally right after I got my hair cut.
Oof.
So I had to go to this bar at, like, I think it was at, like, 3 p.m. This was, like, 4th of July, by the way. And so I had to go sing the national anthem.
Oh, no.
In front of a bunch of people at this bar.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like, oh, and I met up with my friends, and they're like, oh, did you get a haircut? Like, yeah, they're like, it looks good, and I'm like, yep, yeah, it does.
Just don't say a damn word.
Let's just not talk about it.
Ouch.
So going back to my laser cutter.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get back into doing. So I'm thinking about opening up my own Etsy shop.
Okay.
Because I want to try and get back into doing like jewelry work and like 3D modeling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it was stuff that I was really, really passionate about when I was back in school, but because of I just lacked the materials.
Yeah.
I just kind of dropped off of it, and I just haven't been able to get back into it since.
Sure.
But so I wanted to. I've been thinking about opening up my own Etsy shop and I'm trying to like come up with the concepts of like new types of jewelry and like accessories and like other stuff that I would want to sell. But the problem is that like when I was in school, I dealt with metals. I did metalworking.
Yeah.
I dealt with precious metals. I dealt with casting metals, like all that kind of stuff. And it's not the same since I got my like 3D, and like I got a 3D printer to help me with like conceptualizing. That's the word I'm looking for.
There you go.
With conceptualizing and like prototyping, and then even it's like, oh, these still look really nice 3D printed. Maybe I'll just sell these. But it is awkward because I'm just like, they don't feel right.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I dealt with metal. So like, obviously metal has weight to it. It has like a certain weight to it. Like if you hold like, I don't know how to compare it to. You hold like a quarter in your hand. A quarter feels different than holding a penny.
Yeah.
Because of the size, the type of material that it's being used in, and so metal in general, like if you hold a metal ball and a plastic ball, obviously the plastic ball is going to feel lighter. And I just don't like. I like every time I print out jewelry or like I make something via my 3D printer, it just never feels the same. Like it just doesn't feel right, and I like hate it. Like I hate it so much, and it makes me kind of sad. But so then I was just kind of like, okay, well, I can still use my printer for conceptualizing, and then if I want to make the jewelry itself and sell that, I'm just gonna have to figure that out some other way. I'm probably gonna have to outsource it most likely. I did briefly look up. I was like, how difficult is it to make your own forge? Like,
I've
how
actually
difficult
seen
would it be
some
to
people
melt
do it.
your own? Yeah. I've seen a bunch of like
the
DIY
materials
ways.
are pretty
that
basic
like,
when it comes down to it. Like cinder blocks and
exactly.
Just...
And I'm like, I could just do it myself, but I'm like, is that worth it though?
Also, is that safe?
Is that is that safe? Like, I don't know, like how, like that was the thought that crossed my head. I was like, how well can I do this and not hurt myself?
And
I'm
not
like,
die. Not very well.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I can do that, champ. But so I also started thinking, I was like, okay, well, I also want to get into like doing crafts and stuff because again, I do want to open up this Etsy shop, but I do want to sell other stuff. And like, what are things that I could make? What are things that I can make via 3D printing that I wouldn't hate, that I can that would also be really, really cool, that maybe eventually I could even incorporate into my own into jewelry as well. And an idea came to me actually, and it was on my desk. I have this wooden Pokeball that that I've had since like, I want to say I got it my junior year of college. I got it as a gift for myself, and I bought a couple more from for some of my friends. But it was from an Etsy shop. They specialized in wood burning, so they did like custom Pokeballs, and they would wood burn the designs onto them, depending on like what type of Pokemon you wanted and stuff like that. It was really, really cool. And so I saw it on my desk, and I was just like, I can make that. Yeah, like I could make something like that, like easily. I could 3D print it. I'd have to paint it, and then I was just like, okay, if we do that, how are we gonna, like, the biggest thing was like if I carve the design itself, how is that's the thing that I'm struggling on now. It's like you would need to carve the design in, and I'm just like, is that gonna show up with like depending on how I print? So I actually just bought a bunch of new materials for my 3D printer. I bought like some clear resin, some black, and some white, because I'm like, and now I'm gonna start testing out, like I'm gonna start printing stuff off and testing out to see like what looks good, what doesn't look good, and then like after that, once I get like the carving down, I'm like, okay, now let's paint it and see how that looks. And then so now I'm in the process of like just completely I'm in like crafting mode now, of just like I'm like prototyping, conceptualizing everything. I also want to try, and like the thing like that spurred me to buy the laser cutter is I'm also thinking about making pins, actually.
Oh yeah,
I'm also thinking about making some like lapel pins and stuff like that, because I actually saw this really awesome video of because in my head I'd always thought of enamel pins, obviously but obviously I don't have the metal, so it's like I'm basically really what this whole journey kind of boils down to is how can I apply my jewelry making and metalworking skills to not metal? How do I do this without using metal? And that's like the hardest thing that I've come up with.
For sure.
But I just saw this awesome video a couple weeks ago, and it was this guy, he laser cut out pins actually, and then he used 3D printing resin actually, and then like injected them into the pins itself to like give it that enamel look and design, and then he just cured it, and that was his pin. And I was just like, oh, so I could use, so like in theory I was like, oh, I could use, like what I could do is I could just buy a cheap pane of acrylic plastic, make like that's pretty thin, like maybe like 1/8 of an inch. Cut the design out, engrave it so that way it has a negative space, and then I could just mix resin up and stuff like that, and like pour it into the negative space, cure it, put a nice little like enamel coating on or like clear epoxy coating on top of it, and then like super glue a pin back onto it, and I'm like, dude, I got pins right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I literally just like that watching that video itself, I was just like, oh, I've literally just watched how to make enamel pins without using enamel or metal. Like that's fucking dope. I also watched another video of a guy, he made metal enamel pins, but he used solder as like the pin itself.
Okay.
And it was just really funny to watch though, because like what he did was he took just like a wire of solder, he put it in a spoon, heated it up with a blowtorch so it was molten, and then poured it down on a sheet of like wax paper or whatever, and then pressed in his design, and then like cleaned it up and stuff like that. But I just couldn't stop thinking that as I was watching like him melt the solder, I was just like, this looks like he's making meth. Legit, it looks like he's making drugs right now, and I kind of don't like that.
Like, ooh, this is not the vibes we're looking for.
Yeah, it's like that's not. I don't like that. Like that's not where I'm at right now. But yeah, so that's what I'm currently working on towards right now. Like I'm trying to think of, again, I want to get back into jewelry making and stuff like that. But the problem is that how can I make jewelry that doesn't involve metal? And it just doesn't feel right when it's just made out of plastic. And I'm just like, man, like I'm trying to just figure out how to give it that weight to it.
Yeah.
Of like it being jewelry, and I'm like, I just can't figure it out. So for now, I'm steering my efforts toward just making just like random crafts. Like eventually, so like right now, I'm working on the Pokeballs to see how I would go about those. And then eventually, I actually do want to make. I want to try and make soul crystals from Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So I have a couple of those that I bought from someone else that I was just like, oh, these are like really really cool. That I would love to kind of make my own and stuff like that. And then when my laser cutter comes in December, I'll start trying my hand at like making pins and stuff like that. So
in the long from now.
In the long from now, I will hopefully try to make some pins and see how those work.
Awesome.
Stuff like that. Because again, like that's like my New Year's resolution is I want to try and open up an Etsy shop sometime next year.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Stuff like that. Speaking of revamping and making stuff, I have also been thinking about redoing my emotes.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah, for sure.
But it's awkward though because it's like I don't know if I want to remake all 3 of my emotes or if I just want to like trash all 3 of my emotes, have them be on the Discord server for Legacy, and then maybe just get one emote, like just do one emote, because it's like I have to think about like as far as like sub goals on Twitch goes, you know, the more people you have sub, the more emotes you unlock.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to like it's awkward to have 3 emotes but have 2 of them be locked behind higher subs.
I mean that's why I'm doing only 1 at the moment.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I'm doing it.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm thinking is that like I might just do away with tier 2 and tier 3 subs, simply because I just don't have anything that's like I don't have any incentives toward tier 2 and tier 3, like honestly. So I'm just kind of like that's another thing. So I was like I'm either thinking of redoing my emotes to just have redoing just 1 emote and then having my old emotes just on the Discord server for Legacy. By the way, join our Discord server where you will see us all lurking in chat. Or just like coming up with incentives to do tier 2 and tier 3. Because honestly, I've racked my brain about this forever. Ever since I hit affiliate, I was just like, how do I convince people to give me more money on a monthly basis? I can't think
literally
of anything,
everything
honestly.
that I've ever seen. It's just you're gonna have to like get a much bigger following.
That's the thing. It's like I think I just have to like get a bigger following and then simply just ask like, hey, what do you guys want for a tier 3, tier 2, tier 3? Like
how do I
don't know.
Yeah, don't try and like I wouldn't recommend figure it out.
It's hard to predict what people want when you don't have people to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just like, can I just take high quality feet pics? Do I just take high quality feet pics and then like that's what you get for tier 3 on a monthly basis?
Yeah, you're just gonna do an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of OnlyFans, briefly, Nicole, there's a streamer that she's a big fan. It has nothing to do with Nicole.
Okay.
It's just there's a streamer that she really likes, Valkyrae.
Okay.
She's a pretty notable streamer on YouTube now, but I guess she made an OnlyFans account.
Okay.
I guess people were like nagging her to do it, and so she finally made one. And the OnlyFans account is for her dog.
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
So it's like it's like all dog pics, and I'm like, I love it. I fucking love everything about it.
You can. There's this. I saw it on Twitter, and it was somebody that I follow either retweeted it or liked it. This person got kicked off of OnlyFans for not posting nude content.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Which seemed like
that's so weird.
That is the point of the platform,
right?
So, but yeah, that does seem a little strange.
That's so wild. Did someone like report the account?
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, there's no other way that they
right, but like I wonder, like I'm surprised OnlyFans kicked them off. Is the thing,
right?
Like I'm actually shocked by that. Yeah, that's so odd of like have OnlyFans kick you off of the platform.
Do you think Nicole would subscribe to that person just to see dog pics?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I
man.
would. Like 100%. I'm kind of thinking about it, but at the same time, I don't need to pay a monthly service to look at photos. Like, I don't want to pay a monthly subscription to look at somebody's dog all the time.
Yeah, I mean that's what Instagram is for, and that's free.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like, eh. But like, no, like I love. Like she told me about that, and I'm like, that's actually amazing. Like I love everything about that. Like that concept.
What is just happening? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't kill these shadows, and I'm scared.
What are you doing?
I'm playing the Kingdom Hearts 2. God damn it, randomizer.
Oh right, you're right. You're doing that.
But I'm level 5, and I'm at the world that never was.
Oh.
So the and I only have a kingdom key. So yeah.
Have you played all through 5.3?
No, I've been busy. I have.
How far are
you? Playing. I'm at the same point. I'm 3 missions in. So yeah, really not far.
Well, okay. I won't. All right, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to talk about it for because I need to talk about this. Because Saturday's video came out. And I actually posted.
Oh
two
my
videos
god! I got
on
Ultimate
YouTube.
Weapon.
It was
Sorry, I'm listening.
Nice. It was part 1. I did part 1 and part 2 of my run through 5.3 patch 5.3 for Final Fantasy 14, and without spoiling anything, my initial thoughts of running through the main scenario quests were, I'm just sad. Like the entire time, I'm just fucking sad.
That worries me.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, for you, it's gonna be really nice, kind of.
Is it?
Because I'll say right now, there is a point where they do like a walk down memory lane.
Oh, okay.
So because you skipped A Realm Reborn, it's nice for you to be like to give you like a small glimpse. It doesn't give you like full context, but it's just kind of like a small glimpse of like, oh, this is some of the stuff that we missed.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So it's like, it's not like you'll probably still be a little lost.
Sure.
To be honest, but it's just kind of like, it at least gives you a good place of being like, oh, this is the stuff that we did. Oh, okay, cool. And then like the stuff that you did do, it does serve as like a greatest hits kind of thing of like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like this was good times. Or like, oh yeah, this is a cool memory, and stuff like that. But yeah, running through. I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think of like how, because I want to talk about this, but I don't want to spoil anything. Okay. Yeah. So like just running. Yeah. I think I got like, I want to say like 15 missions in. I was like 15 quests in. I was just kind of like, oh, like I already knew like what this expansion was gonna be like.
Yeah.
Because I was just like getting like just going through the quest. I was just like, oh. This is going to be like, I mean, it was already advertised in the trailer, but this is going to be like, this is our climax.
Yeah.
Right here. This is our climax, our falling action, and our resolution. Like, we're at, like, things are going to end in this patch, absolutely. But so, the entire time I was just like, going through quests and like listening to like the dialogue and the story and stuff like that. I was just like, I am depressed. Like, this depression is a mood for this patch, and I will freely admit, I got to the end of the patch and I actually started crying. It was like, and you can see it too, it's like there's one part that I literally said it. I was just like, I hate that it was a cutscene. I was like, I hate that this cutscene is the one cutscene that's actually making me cry. Because it was just so stupid. It was such a stupid moment. And I was just like, I hate the fact that I'm crying because of this right now.
I mean, it was kind of like me and frickin' the the very last. Was it the trial of Heaven's Word in the post expansion stuff when Orshafont's like spirit comes out and helps you out?
Oh yeah,
and you're just like,
yeah.
And I was like, I had no reason to care, and it still got me.
Yeah, and then like at the end of 5.3, you do kind of like a victory lap. And I even said this in the video. And I just go, this is by far the worst victory lap I've ever done, because I just like feel so depressed. Like I'm so depressed, and I'm so sad and angry that everything's just like coming to an end, and I'm like, and I just I loved it, but I hated it at the same time. I will admit, and I will say that the dungeon is really awesome. I really like the dungeon a lot. It was really, really fun. Just kind of see everything kind of come together, which was really cool. Again, without trying to spoil anything. I think you will like the trial. So there is a trial at the end of it. And it is fun. It is super fun.
Fuck!
And then, I'll probably mention this again, since we're planning on running the Nier raid tonight. But there is a mechanic in Nier that... So I loved the raid. The raid was awesome. The raid was super, super fun. Had a nice level of difficulty of it felt very challenging, but at the same time, I didn't feel as if I was just getting raffle stomped the entire time. There was one mechanic, though, that tilted me off the face of the goddamn earth. Because of... there's a dialogue in the first boss, and I remember reading the dialogue, and in my head I was thinking, that sounds really familiar, and then the mechanic happened, and it's literally something straight out of Drakengard, and I was I was furious. You can see this on stream, but I was livid. Because I saw it and I was just like, no, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this ever again. I wasted so long doing this fucking mechanic. I'm so absolutely done. When I was editing it, I even went back to see how long it took me to do the final boss for Drakengard 3. It took me 10 hours to beat the final boss of Drakengard 3 because I struggled that much on it.
That's
it was
rough.
I was so angry. By the way, if you want to see my TLDW for the Nier raid, that's coming out next Saturday. Fun fact on YouTube. But oh my god, I couldn't control my anger. Like just seeing it, I was just like, I paid my dues. I did my time. I served my time for this. Why do I have to do this again? And then the best part about it was like I'm going on about, I'm just complaining at this point, and I'm fuming, and everyone's just like, I don't see the big deal about this. Because you don't know. It's like, you don't know the pain that I went through. But yeah, the Nier raid is super, super fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. That being said, I'll ask you when we actually run it, because whether you want me to tell you what to do or you just want to figure it out yourself. That's what we did. We figured it out ourselves.
I'll honestly probably just watch it.
Yeah.
That honestly, because I'll have, I've been watching some of those, or at least when I was doing the Alpha Delta Sigmascape stuff. God damn it. I was watching a lot of those. They're on the wiki, and they're so in depth and really helpful.
Yeah,
like it details everything that I've ever like needed to know. So like you are helpful, but they're just, I mean, this is what they do, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's hard for me to explain mechanics when at the same time I'm trying to figure out how to solve mechanics.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, I can't say everything because simply I just don't remember everything.
Yeah.
Like I've run Puppet's Bunker, a collective of 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still some things that when I run it, I'm just like, oh, I don't know how to solve this.
Yeah.
Like I still don't understand this mechanic now. Yeah, that's like so there are 2 different sort of mindsets when it comes to raiding. You have people who like want to go in blind and experience everything firsthand and figure it out and stuff like that. I am not one of those people.
No.
Absolutely not. I would much rather go into a raid and have already at least watched the video of like, okay, I understand some of these mechanics, but I need to at least experience them in order to fully grasp the concept.
Yeah.
But I at least know what to expect. I actually just watched a video last night detailing the extreme version of the trial. And I found out that there are 4 potential phases to the fight that can happen, depending on the moves. 2 of the moves that he uses in the second phase of the fight. And like the tells for it was in like each phase has different mechanics for them. And so like the first phase is the Dark Knight phase, or that's what people call it. It's the Dark Knight phase, and that entails I believe you have to like spread out to like clock formations, and then you pair up with one other person. You all go to to the far corners of the arena. Then you come back in, and then you have to tethers drop on the ground, and you have to direct the tethers out toward the corners of the field.
Okay,
that's the first one. The second potential phase is the warrior phase, where you have the tanks grab 2 adds, tank those while mitigating, and then the DPS and healers have to like run around in a circle to bait AoEs and stuff like that. And then like the third one is the black, I think it's summoner or like black mage phase, where meteor circles will be on the ground, and 2 people have to be in each meteor circle, but the meteor circle will give you a debuff that will tick off gradually, but so you can't, and there are, I think, 8 circles that drop in total, and so you can't grab, you have to wait for your debuff to tick off before you grab another circle. And so it's basically the first circle that a pair grabs, they have to grab the 5th circle that drops, because at that point your debuff will fall off. The second get the 6th, the third get the 7th, and then the 4th people who get the 4th pair gets the 4th circle gets the last circle that drops. And you can't just, the video even explained of like, can't you just rotate clockwise and just do it that way? No, because the circles spawn in different areas. And so like you could have one that starts in the north sector, but then the 5th circle will spawn in southeast. So you have to go there instead. And it's just like, I was watching this video, I'm like, I am lost. Like, I'm already lost, because I've already forgotten what the first 2 things what the first 2 phases do. I've already forgotten. But yeah, no, I greatly appreciate watching videos instead.
Yeah.
Instead of going in truly blind. I think it's just because I like progress. I like making progress.
Yeah, it's
and
not
like,
nice to just
that's
beat
what's
your head
fun
against
to
a
me.
wall
Like,
for
not
it.
just beating my head against a wall and hoping that it breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
And because that's what I did for when I did E8, Eden 8 Savage, and boy howdy, that wasn't a fun time.
Learning, like, I don't even know Savage, like, at all, and boy howdy, it sounds not fun.
Yeah, it's stressful. Even going through like the old Savages that I've already done before, they're like, even still, like, we struggle on them because they're just things that we either forget or that we just overlook, and it's just like, well, fuck me.
Yeah.
Start over. Like, let's just start over now. Like, fuck. Though that being said, the ultimate raids, which are I would say they're the pinnacle of raids in the game. Man, I thought Savage was hard. Ultimates they're impossible. They're fucking impossible. Like, we're doing, the group that I'm with, we're doing the Epic of Alexander, which is the most recent Ultimate raid.
Yeah.
And, we're still on the first part of the fight. Like, we literally can't get past the first 5 minutes of the fight.
Oh, wow.
Like, legitimately. It's just that fucking hard.
And you all know what you're doing.
Yeah, we all know what we're doing, but we just can't do it.
Oy.
Which is the like the most infuriating part. And
sure.
like as a tank, I was taught that my mitigations are something that I can't just use them liberally.
Yeah.
Because I need them for like tank busters. I need them for mechanics. I need them for I can't use my mitigation because I need them for something.
Yeah.
There's always something I'm going to need it for. With ultimates, I have to use mitigations like they're fucking candy. Like I'm popping taking because I'm main taking the first part of the fight. One auto attack does like 25% of my health.
Oh my god.
Like legitimately, I watch it just chunk me out. And so I have to just spend mitigation as if like literally because my life depends on it.
Oy.
But which is awkward because by the time we get to like near the end of the first phase, I'm out of mitigation because everything's on cooldown.
Oh no.
We were running it last Friday and we got to like the very tail end of the phase, and I was just like, I'll be real, everything's on cooldown now. I have literally nothing on. Like, I'm out of MP, everything's on cooldown, I have nothing left. Please kill him, please. Because I am out of options. But yeah, so it's ultimates are just wild. And also it's like, it's awkward too, because some of the mechanics for ultimate are, I won't say counterintuitive, but the mindset that we as players have, it is counterintuitive for us, because there's a point where these ads spawn in, and you can't kill the ad. If you kill the ad, you die. And so you have to damage the ad to have its health be less than 25%, and then you have to kite the ad into the boss. But you can't kite them. You can't kite them too quickly, because when they get kited into the boss, it creates like an AOE that deals like half damage, like that deals like everyone half their health basically. And so you have to like time it out as you heal and kite. But it's very like a lot of mechanics are literally just all like fine tuning, and like you have to just be everything matters to the minutest detail. And it's stressful.
Oh yeah.
I'll be real. It's stressful.
You know what's stressful? When you're doing a randomizer and you're one of your keyblades rolls with once more, meaning you can't get it anywhere else. You're like, that's fun.
Problem.
Hope I can get second chance.
Problem.
Hope I can beat Sephiroth. Hope he doesn't have anything good. That's rough.
Espen says she's gonna go play Risk of Rain 2. I never liked Risk of Rain.
What? Risk of Rain's so fun.
So like I don't know. Like I have a bunch of friends who love Risk of Rain, who love Risk of Rain 2. There's something about like I don't know, like there's something about games. I don't like.
You don't like roguelikes.
I don't like roguelikes.
Yeah.
I don't like roguelikes. I hate roguelikes actually.
Yeah, because there's no like forward progression. I get that.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Is like, I don't like games where you have to repeat things over and over and over again. And then, there's no forward progression. You're not really like going anywhere. You're just doing the same thing over and over to get better stuff. But that doesn't. You're just collecting things at that point.
I mean, there is forward progress in Risk of Rain because you can unlock a new character. Or unlock new characters, and that is fun. Like, there is forward progression. It just doesn't come as fast as you would like.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Son of a bitch.
So I've been playing Monster Hunter World again.
Ugh.
and I bought it on PC because that's where I have friends now who
Sure.
play it on PC. So I bought it again. I was not looking forward to having to start over, but I was just like, that's the price that I have to pay, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll bite that bullet. That being said, though, if you buy Iceborne, which is really awesome because you buy Iceborne, they give you a free set of gear called the Defenders set, and they give you like it's a whole Defender set, so it comes with like all the weapons and the gear and stuff like that, which is really awesome because I guess that is like the highest tier gear from the base game of Monster Hunter World.
Oh, cool.
So you basically just kind of like fast track your way through the base game.
Yeah. Okay.
Where you're literally like nigh unkillable, which is super awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like fun to me.
So I actually had a blast going through the base game because I was just like, I was fighting just like high ranking monsters, and I'm just like, yes, a hit that like would normally kill me because like one of the passives on the gear set itself is it has a chance. It's like a 75% chance to reduce the damage you take. So like a hit that would probably take half my health out does like literally nothing. It's like a scratch. And it's nice. But then I got to the end of the base game and I'm like, oh, I now have to play Monster Hunter World again. Like I actually have to play it again now.
Yeah, and then the grind comes in, and then
now I'm basically at the grind again. But it's fun. I actually am enjoying it. I did miss playing it a lot. Even with the grind being kind of a pain, I still enjoy it thoroughly for the most part. It was really cool because I actually like felt like I was learning how to actually like, use one of the weapons. Because originally I was like I would just do the base combo. I use the charge blade specifically, and the combo for it is like you hit with your sword, you charge up vials, you put them into your shield, and then you morph it into an axe, and then you use the vials to deal a bunch of damage. I found out that apparently there is a combo that you can do to augment the shield, so that way, once you go through the axe combo and you switch back to the sword and shield, you can augment the shield with that combo, and you do more damage with your shield now. And then you morph that, and then you do the same combo again, you morph back into your axe, you do a separate combo, and that augments your axe, and then you basically do a third combo that uses both buffs, basically, and deals like a massive amount of damage if you can land it. And I honestly didn't know this for literally until I was like, I was attacking, and like in the upper right hand corner of the screen it shows you like all the buttons that you can go for your next combo basically. And I just saw it said press L2 R2 for this or this, and I just go, what's that? What does that do? And then I figured it out. I was like, oh, okay, that actually makes killing things a lot easier a little bit because it deals more damage, and I actually feel like I can do stuff. Monster Hunter World is really, really fun. I finished. Oh, so I'm gonna talk about Final Fantasy VI briefly since that's what I'm starting to play now.
Oh yeah. I need to watch all those old VODs.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I dig it so far. It's fun.
Good game.
It is. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I actually definitely like it a lot. I didn't think I would like it nearly as much just because of that old school Final Fantasy aesthetic.
Yeah.
Kind of bores me. But I love the character. I actually really like the characters so far. The story is actually pretty interesting. For the most part. I will say that there is one thing about the game that I have to just I just have to deal with it because it's not going to change. It's not going to get better, but I just have to deal with it and I just have to learn. I hate the fact that when you're talking, when dialogue goes on, or like when like a cutscene happens, there's no indication when the cutscene ends. You're just standing there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Until you try to move, and it's like, oh, okay, I can move now. Oh, sweet. Because like there was a point where I got to Figaro, and I was talking to what's his name? It's not Sabine. It's his brother. Frederick? That's not his name.
Fred George.
Fuck. What's his name? Locke is the treasure hunter. Sabine is the king's brother. What's the king's name? It's something dumb. Like, I know that it's something stupid. God.
Orc.
Let's see. Sabine is his brother. Oh my god, what's his name? I'm literally looking up Sabine because I just want to know what his brother's name is. God, I legit don't remember now. It's not, Edgar, that's his name. His name is Edgar. But so there's a point where I'm talking to Edgar when I meet him for the first time, and he just leaves. He just walks out the door, and I'm just sitting there in the throne room, and I'm like, is he gonna come back? And I walked forward, and I just go, oh, okay, I can walk forward now, okay. And then I think I was supposed to, I'm pretty sure I was supposed to follow him. But he had already, I stood there in the throne room for a good 30 seconds, so he's gone now. And I spent I want to say a good 15 minutes just wandering around Figaro Castle trying to figure out where I needed to go next, because I had no clue. I was just lost. And I didn't see an indication as to where I needed to go or who I needed to talk to and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's something that really frustrates me with the game, is you just kind of stand there and you just sort of have to guess of oh, am I out of a cutscene, and can I move now? Okay, I can move now. Let's go explore now.
I can do things. I can move. I can talk.
I can do things now. Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, overall, I am liking it. Another thing I don't like, but again, this is something that it's nothing bad. It's just something that I have to get used to. Sabine is awesome. Love Sabine. I love his blitz command but you can see this on stream. I struggled with the concept of, so a lot of the mechanics that Final Fantasy VI has are very simple, and that's not a bad thing. No. But it's awkward because I overanalyze them so much. Because I'm just okay. I think there was a point where I was fighting right in the beginning of the game. You were fighting this electric slug, and they tell you blatantly the electric slug stores lightning in its shell and it attacks its enemies. I'm okay, so whatever you do, don't attack the shell. And I'm okay, yeah, don't attack the shell. Makes sense. Again, a simple enough concept. Makes sense. Very direct. In my head, I translated that to don't attack the shell with lightning. Specifically lightning. Don't attack the shell with lightning. Everything else is fine. That is not what needed to happen.
No.
What you needed to do is just attack the slug itself, which is awkward, because the slug will occasionally go into its shell, so you just sit there twiddling your thumbs, waiting for it to come back out. So yeah, I died there, because I overanalyzed, and I thought, oh yeah, just don't attack the slug with lightning, because it stores lightning. Obviously, I don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. And then there's another part where, with Sabine, he has his blitz command, which you select. So the way that they tell you how to do the command is you select blitz, and then when it's do you want Sabine to use blitz, basically, because it's targeting Sabine, at that point you're supposed to input a specific command and then hit X for to enter it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Sabine's turn, he'll do whatever the attack is, depending on what command you put in. I did not understand this concept because I thought that you would select Blitz, confirm that Sabine is going to use Blitz, and then when he on his turn, they would be like a prompt or some sort of indication of like, oh, now you put your command in. So for what I wasted probably 6-7 turns inputting, quote unquote, the wrong command because I just didn't input anything. Because I'm just waiting for the moment. I'm waiting for the game to tell me, okay, put your command in now. Like, I just didn't understand the concept of before you confirm that Sabine's doing Blitz, that's when you put your command in. And I was just like, I fucking hate this. But there's just so many like small things that, again, they're very simple mechanics, they're very simple concepts, but I just think that there's more to it because I'm so used to there being more to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so used to playing Final Fantasy games, and it's like if someone tells you don't attack with lightning, it's because they absorb lightning and they heal. So I'm like, okay, well then let's do something else. But no, Final Fantasy 6 is like, yeah, no, just don't hit them. Just don't do that. If you're being dealt damage, just don't. But yeah, overall, I really like Final Fantasy 6. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's fun to kind of see stuff play out, but already have like an idea of who Terra is, who Kefka is,
yeah,
who like see like the Majestic armor because I see it in Final Fantasy 14, or like hearing like the tracks and all the different tracks. I'm like, oh, I remember that being in like the city and stuff like that. Seeing it in like having that prior knowledge, but still not enough, but still being left in the dark, still being like, oh, that's really cool, or like that. Oh, that's why it's like this. That's interesting. So like I am really enjoying it for sure. So I've said this for Final Fantasy 7, for the original, but the problem that I had with 7 was that I never felt like I was in control of the story, or like I never felt like I had a purpose going places. Final Fantasy 7, the original, kind of felt like it was just, it was all reactionary of like, something bad happens where you are, so you have to go somewhere else. Something bad happens there, now you have to go somewhere else. Now you have to go here, you have to go here. Like, it's all because you were, like, it's all reactionary based. There was no, like, it didn't really feel like, oh, hey, let's go to this place because it's a good idea. That didn't really feel like it in Final Fantasy 7. But 6, I liked that there was a direction. There was, like, a purpose of, like, so, like, we're going, like, I just fled, the Returners' hideout. And I went down the river, because we're on our way to, whatever the coal mining place is that you start. I forget what it's called. But we're on our way there to have Terra talk to the Esper. So like I really like that I have like a purpose of like, oh, this is where I need to go because we're doing this. Mm-hmm. It felt like there was like a direction that I was going. That being said, another complaint that I have about Final Fantasy 6 is that I timed this out when I played it Friday. I get attacked too often. I get attacked way too fucking often in this fucking game. Like, I timed it out Friday, and I think on average I got attacked every 8 seconds. Like, I would hit an encounter every 8 seconds.
Yeah, that's
when I'm just
frequent.
Traversing around. Yeah, like, and I joked about this when I first started playing. I said that this game is going to take me forever, but not because it's hard or because of I'm lost. It's because of I'm just constantly fighting something. Because of the fact that I'm just constantly going into an encounter, like, that's what's going to keep me from progressing in this game.
Yeah.
Because I'm just busy. So that's probably my biggest complaint about 6 is that I'm just constantly fighting, and I take a good 20 steps, and it's just all right. You're fighting something now. Have fun fighting these squirrels, and I'm like, cool, thanks.
All right then.
Thanks, game. I appreciate that, I guess. But yeah, overall, I am enjoying 6 a lot. I am enjoying it for the most part. Pretty excited to play it. So it should be a good time. It should definitely be a good time. If I can get past the small gripes that I have about it, it should be fine. I'm also learning that sprint shoes are an invaluable tool to have, because equipping somebody with sprint shoes and moving that way, because it doubles your movement speed, and then going to a character that doesn't have sprint shoes is awful.
Yeah.
And slow. I remember I had Edgar in the party, he had the sprint shoes on, and then we separated, and it's like choose which, like, because there's like 3 different stories that you could talk to. It's like you had Locke, you had Edgar, and then you had Sabine, and you choose like which path, because you have to explore all of them, and, which I thought was a really cool concept. I love that, actually. That was really, really cool. But I switched from Edgar to Locke, and then I was like, oh, I don't have any of the equipment that I was using for Edgar's party, because it's obviously Locke's not with them, obviously. So I literally walked all the way to, you had to like, what was happening is like you're in the town of South Figaro, and the Empire's invaded, and you have to like avoid the guards and stuff like that. But so I avoided all the guards, and I took a detour all the way to the weapons shop so I could buy sprint shoes so I can move faster. And I was just like, I need to, every time I switch to a different party, if they don't have sprint shoes, I need them to have sprint shoes, because this is the worst thing that I've ever felt right now. And like I switched to Sabine for his like little side story, and there was a merchant, and I talked to the merchant, and I go, "Do you have sprint shoes?" "Hells yeah, you do." And I bought a pair because Sabine didn't have them, and I'm like, I just constantly need somebody to have sprint shoes, for the love of God. But yeah, 6 is definitely interesting. I am actually really glad that, aside from the load times, overall it's a fun game. It's really, really
fun. Yeah, that was the only problem that I had heard about the PS1 version, is that for some reason the load times are really bad, and it somehow isn't changed on the PS3. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
Yeah, the loads. Yeah, the only way I could think about it is that like they just did a direct port from the PS1, I guess, disc or whatever. And maybe that's why the load times are so bad. It's just because it's on a CD media.
Yeah.
But I mean, at that point, I'm just kind of fishing for excuses. But yeah, I was very happy that so you mentioned it was on PS3, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really want to boot up my PS3 just to play Final Fantasy VI. But I looked it up on the PlayStation Store, but you could also play it on Vita. I had it on Vita too, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, if I can play it on Vita, then I can probably play it on my PS TV.
Yeah.
So I booted up my PS TV, went to the store, and found it. And I was like, all right, cool. It was $10 cheaper than Steam too, so I was just like, okay, that works out.
Wow.
So,
yeah. That's
what I did. Yeah, I
didn't even consider that. Well, actually, since you own it on Vita, you own it on PS3.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Either way,
either way, yeah.
Which is awesome. But, like, I wish that they would do that more often.
Yeah, and it gave me another reason to use my PS TV.
Oh yeah,
really nice,
I still need to get one.
I appreciated that. But then I actually am a little curious because I kind of want to buy it on Steam just because I want to see.
It's not
from the
good.
Screenshots. See, you say that, and Peanut said the exact same thing.
It's not like,
but it's like
the pixel art is just what it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like from the screenshots, it didn't look all that bad.
Well, so here's the other thing,
and like this from the Steam reviews that I read, they said that like the menuing is kind of odd.
Yeah, it is.
You can change that.
It's because it's based on the well, it's not based on. It is the Android port of
right.
God damn it, of the game, which is not ideal.
Right. Yeah.
So all of the menus look like they're for like they take up the bottom third of the screen because it's designed like you're holding an iPhone.
Mobile. Yeah.
And that's not great. Like the backgrounds from what I've seen look really good, but the character models, nah. Like I'm good.
I don't think I saw any screenshots. I don't remember seeing any screenshots where I saw like the character models. But then like another thing that one Steam review told me was that the artwork, like the character profiles,
those do look good. Oh my god.
Those looked really good because those are the original Amano like artworks for them.
Yeah.
Of like those are what he actually wanted for the game. And so I really liked those. So I'm kind of disappointed that they're not in the PlayStation version, obviously. But yeah, from what I saw, it didn't look bad. But again,
the enemy designs also look really bad.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the stuff that I saw was based upon I think it was all based in like backgrounds. Actually, I'm actually gonna pull the Steam page right now.
There might be. I think the first image shows the like mammoth things, and I think that's like the only image that shows the enemy designs. It just doesn't look very good. And the characters are all like, they don't look like they fit with the actual world.
Oh yeah, they are. It's very okay. I do see it. It's very kitty like.
Yeah, and it's like why?
Like, yeah, all the character models do look very like kitty-esque.
And I'm not in.
Oh, I do actually kind of hate that. I do see the menuing now. I do actually kind of hate that.
It's huge and unnecessary.
It's just like.
And I keep dying, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, it is a little odd, actually.
Oh my god, I'm so tired of being one shot.
Well, randomisers, baby.
Yeah, actually, I have an idea. I'm just gonna put on my once more item. So oh, cool! I can't get scan anymore.
Well, have fun guessing what health things are at.
Yeah, I'm never gonna know. Both two of my Keyblades have scan, which means my only two options of getting scan are gone.
Ooh.
Yay.
So there's a webcomic that I read. There are two webcomics that I read. One's called Weak Hero, and the other one's called The Boxer. I've talked about Weak Hero a bunch.
Yeah.
Love it. Still recommend. 10 out of 10. Would love to see it as an anime. Would absolutely love to see it as an anime because I think it'd be fan-fucking-tastic. Mm-hmm. The other webcomic that I'm reading called The Boxer. I just started reading not too long ago. Also, fantastic. So good. Would also 10 out of 10 recommend. Would also love to see as an anime. But The Boxer is based upon... The story is... it's interesting because I feel like there are... In the webcomic, I feel like there are like 3 main characters. Mm-hmm. But at the same time... Or no. Actually, I can't say that. I would say that there's one main character, obviously. But the way that they portray him, he is more of like a side character. That like it's really interesting to see because like all the episodes for the webcomic, they all center around somebody else that's not the main character. And it's really really interesting because like the first couple issues, you have this white-haired, spiky white-haired kid, and you think he's the main character. And then spoiler, he gets his teeth kicked in.
Oh my god.
And it's like, it is ridiculous. It's like, oh, okay, he's actually not the main character. Okay, is it this kid, this blonde kid? And it's like, no, he's not the main character either. And it's like, okay, well, it's obviously this other kid. It's like, no, he's not the main character either, actually. But like they all come into contact with this guy.
There we go.
This kid. He's got he's got dead fish eyes. That's literally what he looks like. He looks like he's got dead fish eyes and he has no soul. But like they play him up as this like technically this minor side character, or like basically like the antagonist. But all the episodes focus on these other characters. It's like they give them like their own spotlight. But it's like, nah, they're not their main character.
They're not important.
It's the dead boy over there. He's the main character. But they like almost always don't draw attention to him. And I'm like, it's really clever, but it's really, really good. It's a really good webcomic. So I would highly recommend it. I love it. I love it to 5 ever.
5 ever?
5 ever. It's one more than 4 ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That serious. It's again, it's very good. It's very, very, very good.
So sad.
That's how I felt when I finished the 5.3 patch.
My Keyblades are so bad.
Going back to 5.3.
Yeah, sorry.
Going back to that. No, it's fine. Going back to that. This doesn't apply to you or me, but it was something that I thought was like really, really cool. Especially because I'm trying to get some of my other friends to play Final Fantasy XIV now. Because they originally played it, but they dropped off. But with the 5.3 patch, they introduced a bunch of new quality of life upgrades and updates to the A Realm Reborn storyline. Some of those being you can now fly in all the areas. So like
super
once
awesome.
You get your chocobo, you can fly everywhere, which is amazing. I actually specifically warped literally to a single A Realm Reborn area simply so I could do that. Like, I had no reason to go there. I just did it because I was like, I want to fly.
Yeah, I haven't...
I want that feeling. I'm like, yes!
You used to be able to fly in Mordona?
No.
Okay, yeah, that was the first place I ever... Because I had to go there for some quest, and I was like, oh, hey! Yeah. So that was my first... Nope. I was like, I don't remember being able to do this.
Yeah, you can't... Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah,
so that was cool. All the Realm Reborn areas you can now fly in. Like, once you get your chocobo, you can... you get your chocobo, which I think is now a mandatory quest that actually used to be optional.
Yeah, because and it was kind of annoying.
Yeah, it was super annoying, and it's like it was just very out of the way of you could go your entire game and not get it.
Yeah, it took me forever.
I think now they made it mandatory, and then like some of the quests they streamlined them a little bit.
Yeah,
where I was actually watching Mr. Happy. He did a review video about it. And there's one quest early on where you go to this bar, you talk to the bartender. He's like, there are these 2 drunken fools outside, and you need to go take this bucket to the river out back and splash cold water on them. So what you do is you talk to the bartender, you go outside, grab the bucket, go to the river, put the bucket into the river, go to the 2 drunkards, and then you splash water on them. Now, they've upgraded, and that whole exchange is a good 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
That exchange is, go talk to the bartender, he gives you the bucket, go outside, splash water on the drunk people.
Weird. It's so much easier.
So like there are these just small, minute things that they did for some of the quests that they just sort of streamlined it, which is, again, like, in that sort of instance, I mean, you're shaving off a couple minutes, but in the grand scheme of it all, like, that's
so
awesome.
Much more fun.
Like, collectively, it's a lot more streamlined, it's a lot more interesting, and you're actually saving a pretty good chunk of time. They also took a bunch of the quests in A Realm Reborn, and they just got rid of them. Like, a lot of the filler quests, a lot of, like, the fetch quests, they completely just axed them. I think if you have, like, I think they said this in the patch notes, but if you have quests right now, like, in your journal, it'll actually, and it's got removed, it'll actually tell you, hey, this quest was removed, abandon it, and then go start the quest again. So you can, like, get on the right track again. I'm actually gonna see if I can pull up because they actually, tablet, not tablet, I calculated it all out of like how many quests they got rid of. And it's a pretty good chunk.
That's awesome.
Like, actually, patch 5.3 ARR changes. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find a comparison chart here. Yeah, I think the minimum they took out of for the quest, I think the minimum they took out was 1 or 2. I think the maximum number of quests they took out from like one of the parts was like 9 quests.
Damn,
they took out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like, oh, here we go. So depending when you start the game, depending on where you start, you can start in Gridania, Limsa Lominsa, and Ul'dah, depending on what your job is. In Gridania, there were 29 8quests in Gridania before you even left the city. You had to go through 29 quests.
Nope.
That has now been cut down to 23. So they took 6 quests out there.
That's something.
Here, actually, hold on. Let me do this first real quick. I'm going to calculate how many quests there were originally. So, 29 in Gridania, 26 in Limsa, 28 in Ul'dah, 26, 48, 6, 49, 19, 19. Wow, there's a lot here. 27. Okay. So, all the way up to Heavensward, there were 345 quests that you had to do. That's a little inflated because I'm calculating all 3 of the city-states, but 345, okay?
Yeah, I think it was like 200
and
something. 300 seems high.
Yeah, 24. So, with the changes and with the removal of some quests in the patch, there are 290. So they took out almost 55 quests.
Yeah, that's a significant chunk.
Yeah. 290 divided by 345.
And it's very much necessary.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
I probably wouldn't have quit 16%. Had I, or not quit, but like abandoned doing that if that was how it was already.
Yeah. But so yeah, they took out about 16% of the quests from original ARR basically. And again, that number's a little skewed just because I'm factoring in all 3 city-states, but you only have to do one of them. So I mean, I'm skewing it a little bit. But yeah, I mean that's a decent enough chunk.
That's a very large chunk.
Yeah, looking at the chart that I have. So there were 29 in Gridania. They've now taken that to 23. There were 26 in Limsa. They took 4 out to put it to 22. Same thing with Ul'dah. There were 28, so they put that to 24. Surprisingly enough, level 15 to 20, they didn't do anything to that. Which is kind of funny, but I think within that level gap, I think they streamlined the quests. I think they streamlined those as well as all the main scenario quests also give you like a shit ton of experience.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
I was watching like Mr. Happy's doing like a run, not a speed run, but like just a run to see what the changes are and how they feel. And I think he's like, from what I remember him watching the video, he was, I think 12 hours in, and he was already like level 30, doing level 24 stuff.
Wow.
And that's just doing the main scenario. Like, he didn't do any of like, he didn't do a roulette, he didn't do hunting log, he didn't do challenge log. He's not getting any sort of experience boost. Like, that's strictly all just from doing the main scenario quest. So like being level gated is something that you technically don't even have to worry about.
Sure.
as far as in a Rumble board. So going from 21 to level 21 to 30, originally they're 48. They take 3 quests out to put it at 45. Level 31 to 40, there were 46. They take that down to 37, so they took out 9 quests there. 41 to 50, they go from 39 to 33. Patch 2.1, they go from 19 quests to 10, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
That's a pretty heavy jump. 2.2 is 19 to 14. 2.3 is 19 to 14. 2.4 is 19 to 18.
Damn.
And then 2.5, right before Heaven's Word, is 27 to 24.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff taken out. And they do a really, from what I heard, they've done a really good job at, like, streamlining quests. And, another thing, which, I don't know, you probably dealt with a little bit before you skipped, but one of the struggles that I had when I played this game was you had to go to Vesper Bay. And in order to get to Vesper Bay, what you would do is you would either travel to Limsa Lominsa, take a boat, and that would take you to Vesper Bay. Or you would teleport to Horizon, and then you would walk all the way down to Vesper Bay. Very small, minute thing of like, this sucks, but you did it anyways, so it's like, whatever, I don't care. I guess now, some of the things that you get in Quest is you get an item called a Vesper Bay ticket.
Oh.
And what it is you literally use it, and then from anywhere in the world, you just teleport to Vesper Bay now. You don't have to walk, you don't have to you don't have to, like, circumvent your way.
That's cool.
And, like, detour your way through. Like, you just are there, and you just walk to talk to whoever you need to talk to. And it's like, oh, well, that's super convenient. And then they also did, like, they also added new gear to, like, old dungeons. So, like, Palatali, Copperbell Mines, the low-level dungeons that you do.
Yeah.
They've revamped that where every time, they've removed some of the gear, as well as, every time you complete the dungeon, you will automatically get, a coffer for whatever gear, you'll get a coffer, and if you use that coffer on whatever class you have equipped, you'll automatically get a piece of gear for that class.
Oh, that's so much better.
So you don't have
I
to
wish
just,
they would do
like,
that for
right?
For us.
Right? They sort of do it a little bit for, like, the Savage and Extreme stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, so now, like, low level, you don't have to fight for gear. You don't have to, like, worry about, I just got this broadsword as a fucking black mage. Cool, I guess. And then they even added new gear to the dungeons as well. So you open up, like, treasure coffers, you're not just getting a fucking high potion.
Yeah.
Like, you could potentially actually get gear that you have to roll for. And it's like, okay, well, that's really good that I'm not just getting useless items that I'm never gonna need. Yeah, but so, yeah, 5.3 has done a lot of stuff and has done a lot of changes, a lot of quality of life changes for the game, and I'm very glad.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, it's nice that I rave about Final Fantasy 14, partly because I've spent so much time in it, but another part because of it's nice to see that there are a bunch of quality of life changes that do happen. Like, they didn't have to do any of this stuff, truly.
For sure.
But they did anyways, because I feel like they actually care about, the people that play their game.
Yeah.
They want people to play, obviously. But they care, like, they want to try and, make people happy and being like, hey, we are actively trying to make this game as fun as possible.
Yeah, I think they're doing a really good job.
And we want people to really enjoy themselves while they do this. So here's something that happened to me. There's another thing that happened with the patch. So they added a quality of life change where if you're in a crossword party, originally, like, you were in a crossword party, you could not transfer servers. You had to disband the party or leave the party, and then you had to switch servers, and then you had to get re-invited to the party.
Yeah.
Now, they allow you, if you're in a crossword party, they allow you to switch between servers without having to leave.
Oh, cool.
It's a very small thing, very minute. But it was one of those things where it's like, you didn't realize you needed it until they gave it to you. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this is great. I love this. That being said, when I was playing, I think this was Tuesday. Yeah, I think this was Tuesday evening when I was playing the patch. I was getting ready to run the near raid with people. I was buying materials, and so I was server hopping to see, like, to compare prices to see where it was cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And because there were so many people on Gilgamesh, and because the population is so massive, I had to wait in line to go back from Siren to Gilgamesh. I had to wait in the queue for it. And you want to know what they always tell you the estimated time for the queue. You want to know what my estimated time was to go home? 30 minutes.
What the hell?
I had to wait 30 minutes to go home. I was like number 35 in line. And I was fucking trapped on Siren. And the worst part about it was I couldn't stop it either. The moment I said, hey, I want to go back to Gilgamesh, they're like, the game just goes, okay, cool. You are now stuck in this line and you cannot leave. So also, I can't leave. In order to transfer worlds, you have to go to like the main Aetheryte Plaza in one of the major city-states.
Yeah.
If you're in that queue, you can't leave that area. I can't, so I was just stuck there, literally sitting in the plaza on a bench, because I'm just like, I want to go home, but I can't go home. I'm fucking trapped. So, yeah. That was one small problem that I had of like, I am stuck in this line and I can't get out of it, and I have to just wait until until it's my turn. So hopefully, I am hoping that maybe they refine that and like maybe they prioritize like, oh, this is your home world. Okay, you can go first.
Yeah.
But I think it might have just been because just the sheer number of people and then just the sheer number of Gilgamesh is just overpopulated in general.
Yeah.
Like, every time I log in, I have to sit in a small queue of like, there are 10 players trying to log into Gilgamesh. Please wait your turn.
It's like, dude, stop.
Yeah, I remember when Shadowbringers first came out, that number was like 30,000. I remember. So like nowadays, I sit in my login queue for probably 30 seconds, and then I log in. I remember when Shadowbringers first released, I would sit in that queue for a good 5-10 minutes, just because of the sheer volume of people trying to log in and play.
Damn.
But I think that's just Gilgamesh problems. That's just, Gilgamesh props.
Yeah, I generally don't have to deal with that many. Like, my queue times are usually like, hey, there's 19. I think one time I sat in queue just waiting to log in for probably 15 minutes was the longest. And that might be exaggerating. I'm honestly not sure.
I am not exaggerating.
Oh yeah, no, I believe it.
My times were not exaggerated. It's like probably the one thing I hate about being on Gilgamesh is just there's so many fucking people.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a problem, but at the same time I'm just like, all right, whatever, man. Like, as long as I get in, as long as I can play, I'm happy. So an interesting thing that I'm doing in Final Fantasy right now is I have taken up gardening.
Oh, good.
And it is, but so here's the thing. It's not because I'm like, hey, the reason I'm gardening is kind of dumb, but it makes sense if you know who I am. It makes sense.
Okay.
The reason I'm gardening is not because I want to get rich. It's not because I'm trying to craft something or craft high-level items or whatever. No, it came to my attention that apparently in patch 5.3, there were a bunch of new minions that were released. One of them being, was a watermelon. And apparently, to get the watermelon, you have to grow said watermelon.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. I planted them a couple days ago, and they're doing very well right now. So, here's hoping that I get a brand new watermelon minion that will follow me everywhere, and it's gonna be fucking dope. I've never been so excited to get a minion before. Like, legitimately, I've never been this excited to have like a little minion, to get a specific minion. I think the last time I was this excited was when I got my magic bucket minion, because it's literally just a bucket. It hops after you. But this is a watermelon. It's gonna be awesome. But so yeah, I'm now growing 2 watermelons at my FC house, and we're gonna see what happens. My biggest fear is that I just grow the watermelons and then I harvest them and I just have watermelons. Like, they just don't do anything. They're just watermelons. So I'm very worried about that, but we'll see.
I T-posed Roxas. Whoops. Oh well.
Hey. Does that mean your game broke?
Nah, I can just boot it back up really fast.
But that's technically bad.
Technically,
right?
yeah, it would be.
That's not something you want to happen.
No. If I couldn't quick reset the game, yeah, it would be a problem.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
Nice.
I just have to remember to take off dodge roll. And he can fly, he can quick run, he can aerial whatever.
Aerial recovery?
No, quick. God, I can't remember what it's called.
Air dodge?
Yeah. He just can't dodge roll, which is funny.
Air dash?
The spinny thing. I think it's aerial dodge. Right.
High jump?
He can high jump. I'm just saying the only one he can't do out of all of the form abilities is frickin' dodge roll for some reason. Roxas anyway. Let's see. High jump. Nope, not high jump. God damn it. You got me on high jump, and now I'm taking everything off. I'm taking the wrong stuff off. Alright. Now I should be good. This is very fun. I would recommend doing it.
Kingdom Hearts randomizer. Man, I still need to go through my critical run of Kingdom Hearts.
Of 3?
Yeah, of 3.
There we go.
I'm still on Arendelle, and I just haven't gone back to playing it.
I don't remember how far I got.
Because I'm annoyed at it.
I think I got to San Francisco.
Okay.
Which is a decent.
I got all the way to the graveyard, and then I realized that my save was too old because I didn't get Oathkeeper and Oblivion, so I had to make a new save.
That's really dumb that it couldn't retroactively be like, hey, you have this now.
Yeah,
it's very rare that that ever happens.
Yeah. So it was really, really annoying. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, but because of the cheat codes, all I have to do is I can just fast track my way there essentially.
Yeah.
And then I'll turn it off when I get to the graveyard, so that way I can beat it legit, quote unquote. And then all I need to do is I just need to play the DLC. But I've already been spoiled about it.
Yeah.
So I am a little nervous because I guess you only get one shot at the boss, which is the one dude. I forget what his name is.
Yuzora?
Yeah, that one.
You only get one shot?
That's what I heard. Maybe that's different now.
That wouldn't make any sense.
But I've heard that if you lose, yeah, you only have one shot, so you have to either beat him to get it's not necessarily a true ending, but it's the good ending, quote unquote. But if you lose, it's an entirely different ending.
So just don't save and pray to God you win.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. This was really early on when the DLC had come out, so it might actually be different.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That seems weird. But I never even got that far, so.
Yeah, so. Because
I didn't beat any of the data guys. Because they were very, very hard. Even on Proud, they were hard.
I don't think I did any of the data stuff on Proud. I don't think I did any of the data. No, I didn't do any of the data stuff in general. Because that's DLC, isn't it? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Which means you have to get through the DLC story, and then, which is just retreading over all the stuff that you already played. Yeah. Which is a little frustrating. And then there's the datas, and then once you do the datas, then you can do Yuzora.
Yeah, then you fight your sword. Yeah, I've touched literally nothing, primarily because I've just been playing so much other stuff. Maybe that's what I'll do after Berseria, because so the current schedule for stream is Final Fantasy VI, then Tales of Berseria, and then that's it. That's all I have slated, like concrete slated. I
wonder who asked you to do that one.
It's a mystery. We'll never know.
I'm not sure.
Well, I originally wasn't going to do it, but apparently it's a prequel to Zestiria, which is the one that I played. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, that actually interests me, because at least it's a prequel, so it ties into the story that I played not long ago. So okay, that'll be cool to play through. So I'll do that. I'll give that a look. It was also, I think, on sale.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was like, okay, sure, why not? But yeah, so that's all I have slated in concrete. After that, I was thinking about doing Breath of the Wild.
That's gonna take you forever.
I know, but it's also like the only way I'll ever actually play the game.
Fair.
Because every time I boot it up, I get like crippling anxiety because the map is so massive. I just don't know where to go. Like I don't know what to do, and I don't know where to go, and I'm just like I'm
Have you
lost.
played any Zeldas before?
I have.
Which ones?
I've played Wind Waker, Ocarina, Twilight Princess.
Okay, so you've played pretty much the good ones.
Yeah.
You should start with the Minish Cap or Link to the Past. Do the Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. Okay.
And then Minish Cap.
That's on Switch, right?
Neither of them are though. Well, Link to the Past is on the Super Nintendo stuff. So technically, yeah.
I'm thinking of Link's Awakening. That's what I'm
thinking. Yeah.
Link's Awakening they redid on Switch.
Yes.
Because I have that one. Actually.
Do you have a Wii U?
No.
Okay. Well, you can just emulate it anyway.
Okay.
So the Minish Cap is, if you want to go like timeline, the Minish Cap is the first game in the like timeline, and it's really good. And it's just a little Game Boy Advance game, so it's fun, and
maybe that's what I might do.
It's just like a smaller version, basically, of A Link to the Past. So I would definitely recommend that one, but you should definitely
maybe I'll
play
do
Link
that. Maybe after Berseria, I'll do Kingdom Hearts, because that's just been gathering dust.
Yeah,
it's literally still downloaded on my PS4. It's just been gathering dust now.
Oof.
So maybe I'll do Kingdom Hearts, and then maybe I'll do like maybe I'll play through all the Zelda games. I'll just do a timeline of it.
Yeah, you could do that.
Man,
I mean, there's branching timelines, and it's going to take you a long time.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
But it's fun. It really is fun. I would recommend it. Especially those two games.
Is there a core timeline?
Yeah, it's in the book.
Oh god.
I have the book.
Maybe I'll just do the core timeline. Yeah, maybe I'll just do the core timeline.
Well, oh no, it's literally there's three. It depends on the games that you want to end up playing. It's
okay.
Yeah. And there's good games in each tree.
All the games that I play don't link together, do they? Because I played Ocarina, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker. So I don't think.
No. So Ocarina and Twilight do take place.
Yeah, those link together
in the same area.
But Wind Waker does not.
Yeah. No, that is actually, I think, in the timeline that leads more directly to Breath of the Wild. If I remember correctly. I could also not be remembering correctly. Yeah. Breath of the Wild is the furthest in the timeline.
Right. Makes sense.
And it references a Hyrule that was underwater.
Oh.
So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did not know that.
Yep.
Didn't get far enough. I stopped playing Breath of the Wild after taking care of one of the Guardian Beasts, and it was the Zora one.
I didn't do any of them.
Because
I accidentally started the one that I didn't want to do. And you can't abandon it or go do another one.
Oh, really?
At least I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I did the Zora one first. It's the only one I ever did. It's really depressing.
Yeah.
Like, the story for the Zora one is so fucking depressing. Like, I just did it and I was like, I'm sad now. I don't want to play this game anymore because I'm just sad. Like, I was just like, oh, this sucks.
Muzu wants you dead. Oh, hey, sweet. Yay, I got one of my crowns.
Yay.
I just need 2 more. And it came from the goddamn Twilight Thorn. Of course it did.
Nice. I miss doing the day, like getting the crowds for Kingdom Hearts 2 actually.
That's what the randomizer's all about.
Yeah, I really liked doing those. Those were fun actually.
Yeah, except when you get to Terra and then you're like,
then you get fighting at Terra was not fun.
Do I do the cheese strat or do I do the other strat?
I definitely did the cheese strat. 100% I did it. The only reason I did the cheese strat was because chat got tired of me dying after like the 50th time.
I was there. I was part of chat. I was the one who showed you how to do the cheese strat.
Yeah, it was like you were there because we were just tired of it.
Forever.
This is not gonna happen. This was for sure not gonna happen. So. Well, all right. Well, I think on that note, I think that's a pretty good place. Yeah. Good place for us to stop. We've been going on for about 2 hours now. I think we've exhausted all the things that we wanted to talk about for at least this episode. So, guys, thank you so much for watching the C Plus podcast. As always, I will be uploading an edited version where you will see not just me, but you'll see Hex as well. So if you want to check that out, it'll be up later in the week to this week. But stick around and we'll be jumping into more Halo 2. Hopefully we can get through at least 25%.
I feel like we'll be able to finish it.
Or 70, hopefully we can get through, we're halfway, right?
We're like 66% of the way through.
Yeah, so hopefully we can at least get to 75% is where I would
Small
hope.
goal.
So. Small goal. Yeah. But we'll see with that. But as always, my name is Shogun Shin. That is Hex Ginkgo, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, let's switch gears.